Look at the intensity. Look, look, look. Okay, the phone is telling me that its maximum file size has almost been reached, so let's try to zip through this. Yeah, so I don't know what that means. It hasn't stopped recording, so let's see. We got 2 of these, brown and green, really nice. This is one I normally wouldn't have bought, but I think that week I was just like, let me have one of everything. I got on there early enough that I snagged one of everything. So that was one that I got, because you just never know. You never know what colors you might need. And then this is sort of the same boat, but this has some purple in it. It's got some brown and purple. This actually, now that I'm looking at it, this might go really nicely on my linen and threads. So I might use that for some accent bits. And last but not least, gorgeous. Yes. So that is my addiction. Welcome to my addiction. And this kind of leads me into some shop stuff, because part of the reason that I love cross stitch so much, that I love fiber art so much, that I love so many things so much, is because of the color. I'm just gaga over bright colors. Rainbow colors, especially, like rainbow is my favorite color. Purple, if I have to pick one individual purple or one individual color, is my absolute favorite color, but really rainbow is my favorite color. Like I want all the colors all the time. So part of the reason that I pick the things that I pick for my shop are because I love them. If I love a thing, I hope other people will love a thing, and so that's what I add to my shop. So let's talk shop updates. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, I am currently out of the flosses. It's a fantastic problem to have. I have more on order, so the listings are still up in the shop, but I don't have silks to show you right this minute, but I am now able to sell dinky dyes, silk flosses, silk stranded floss, and they are gorgeous, soft, beautiful. I actually do have a floss pack I can show you. They are gorgeous, soft silk flosses that you can use for cross stitching and other needleworks. They are absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited to be able to share them with everybody, and I'm also going to be working towards not only providing access to the floss, but also I'm going to be converting some kits to Dinky Dye's colors, kits that are not already charted in those, or charts that are not already charted for Dinky Dyes. I'm going to convert to Dinky Dye so that I can sell silk packs to go with some of the charts that I'm selling as well. So here is just one example of some Dinky Dyes. So this is for, these are 2 different colors. So this is 2 skeins of 1 silk. Can you see that? And this is, so this color here is Pacific Ocean. This color is Aussie Jewels. So that's just some of the colors. These go specifically with a pattern called The Dreaming, which I've just added to the shop. So obviously I have the silks available for the pattern. And I have the printed pattern available in the shop as well. I'm going to show you a couple things. I don't want to bore you with everything because I don't want you to feel like it's a commercial, but I am super excited about some of the stuff that I have in the shop now. And I have more on the way. Like I said, I have another order in. I'm also able to, I have a wholesale account with Vikelt as well now, so I'm going to be carrying some fabrics. I'm going to be carrying DMC floss packs for the patterns that that I'm putting in the shop. So lots and lots of exciting stuff on the way. But that is the silk pack for The Dreaming, which is a pattern I fell in love with a while ago. So this is a Dinky Dyes DD Designs pattern, and I just love this kind of design work. I'm super into colorful geometric. So I've wanted this pattern for forever. So I got it to put in the shop so that you all can have access to it if you're interested. If you have similar tastes to mine, you might be interested in that. I have the patterns and the floss packs, the silk packs for those, which I think is fantastic. This is also a pattern that I fell in love with This is a long dog sampler. I'm not going to mess up. I'm not going to mess it up. This is Le Jardin du Plaisir. I don't speak French. I'm sure I murdered that. Regardless, it is the Pleasure Garden. This is another pattern I fell in love with recently, and I could not find it in the shops that I normally purchase from. And then lo and behold, I get some wholesale accounts, and boom, there it is. There it is. More long dog samplers will be coming. Patterns will be coming, as well as more DD designs, because I love their work. I have a bunch on order. More will come. These are currently in the shop though. So if you're interested in those, I am selling them for slightly less than retail because I love y'all. And I feel like you deserve it. One of the other things I'm super excited about, I fell in love with these patterns. Did I show these to you? I can't remember. Maybe I showed it. If I did, I'm sorry. So, but Plum Street samplers. Okay. So there's a whole line of these animal stacks, the animal trios, all little farm animals. So there's henpeck, and there is, I'm going to drop them all on the floor. There's henpeck, there is sheep. Look how cute. They're so cute. And these are tiny stitches. So these all average out to be less than 60 stitches wide and 90, 95-ish high. So these are all little tiny stitches, quick stitches. Super cute. And this is one I'm definitely gonna, I'm thinking I might have to steal one from my inventory for Fox View and just do it. All I'm getting is reflection, sorry. You're gonna get weird pictures from my laptop. So that's Fox View. Cow pile. How cute is that? Cow pile. It's another cow pile. Llama lump. This is one of the first ones I fell in love with. Llama lump. It's so cute. Snort stack. I love the names of these two. They're so cute. They're so cute. I'm just in love with this whole series. And there's like 9 of them, I think. Gobble gob. Some turkeys. Little turkeys with the corn on the cob. I can't wait. I'm going to get one of these for myself, and I'm going to save it for autumn. And I'm going to stitch that in the fall, because that's such a Thanksgiving. This is so cute. This is one of my favorites. Tired trio. It's sloths. It's so cute. And look at the flowers. The flowers are so cute. I know you can't see because of the reflection, but super cute. How cute is so cute. And last but not least, goat load. You can turn it into a pillow that totes your goats. Okay, I'm being silly. But regardless, Plum Street does, I love, there's a bunch of other patterns that Plum Street, that Paulette Stewart has designed. I love her designs. But these were the first ones I had to have in the shop, because these I have fallen in love with so long ago. I needed to bring these to you first. I will be bringing some other Paulette Stewart designs, some Plum Street samplers. In fact, they're on the way to me. I don't know if I can get them listed this weekend, because I have plans this weekend to be out of town, but hopefully within 2 weeks, those will be up. But I'm super excited to bring these to you. I'm also going to have, actually I have a couple more. I only right now have one pattern from Ink Circles, but I will have more. More are on their way. This is Arranging Leaves. So Tracy Horner at Ink Circles has this whole series of things arranged neatly. And it's actually called the Arrangement Series, a series of like things arranged neatly, which I just think is a fantastic idea. I think it's really cool. So that is my first Ink Circles pattern. It will not be the last. Again, I have more on order. I have a whole bunch of stuff coming, and I'm so excited because I have access to so many designers now that I have a couple of wholesale accounts. So not only do I have access to Northern Expressions and Long Dog samplers and DD Designs, I have access to Plum Street, I have access to Blackbird Designs, Oh, what is her name? I know I got a pattern. This happened to Rachel too. It's the exact same pattern that Rachel showed on her recent floss too. I literally bought that, put in the order for that, and then we were talking and she's like, "Yeah, this is the one that I was thinking I was getting the floss for." And I'm like, "Oh, I actually literally just ordered that." And I can't think of the designer. It's Susan Colette. Ugh, Rachel's screaming it at me. I can hear you, Rachel. But I can't hear the name. Anyway, it'll be in the shop, so you'll know it then. So that's, those are the patterns that I have currently in the shop. I also have the silk pack that goes along with the Northern Expressions Twisted Rainbow Sampler. And the reason I have that floss pack and not the pattern at the moment is because it's rainbow and it's fantastic. It is the most brightly colored, beautiful, fantastic rainbow ever. And it is a thing that I wanted in my life, so I thought others might want it in theirs. And so that is in the shop. And Silk Club. So, something I have started, and I will thank Rachel for spurring me on to this, is a monthly Silk Club. So what it is I'm calling it the Collect the Catalog Club. And the idea is that every month 4 new skeins will be sent to you if you purchase. Will be sent to you from the Dinky Dyes color catalog, going alphabetically from start to finish. So they have 282 colors. It's going to take quite a while. Going forward, I will probably do larger packs and, you know, stuff to help people catch up on months that they've missed. But for the time being, it's going to be 4 new colors a month. The next 4 colors in the alphabet as we go along. So March's colors are in the shop now, available now. I can't think of the 4 of them off the top of my head. One is Airly, one is Amethyst, Antique Mauve, and Acacia. So those are the 4 colors. I have April's colors picked already. I have samples of them coming to me that I will get pictures of in the next week or two. So April will be going up very soon. I had hoped to have April's listing up in such a way that, let me back up a little bit. So March, I got started late. So basically, when you order March, I'll ship it out to you right then, assuming I still have it in stock. If I'm out of stock, it may take a few days for me to get more stock, but I'll ship it to you as quickly as I can. Boom, done. I had hoped to have April's listing up early enough that I could actually pre-order and ship it to you on April 1st. But it's halfway through March now, so probably April will be done the same way as March. But going forward, at least starting in May, I'm actually going to set the listing up. So May's listing will hopefully go up by April 1st. So if you sign up for May's colors anytime between April 1st and April 20th or so, then you will get your floss sent to you on the 1st of the month. Boom, done. So, and then going forward, it'll be like that. I hope to, in the future, also have 3-month clubs, 6-month clubs, and 12-month clubs. And I will possibly also have, you know, catch-up clubs where you can buy 3 or 4 months at a time if you missed, you know, a bunch of months previously. So keep an eye out for that. I'm super excited about that. It's a great way to collect all the colors. If you don't know what colors you want, what colors you're missing, or whatever, it's a great way to just kind of start now and collect them forever. In the future too, I will say, Dinky Dyes does actually sell a full catalog pack. Literally 282 skeins of silk, stranded silk floss. That is a possibility. That is something that I would have to accept as a pre-order because I don't see any time in the very near future where I can afford to buy that and just have it on spec. But as a pre-order, I may put that in the shop soon in the next couple of months, just in case there is anybody out there who doesn't want to wait for the collect the catalog club, who wants to just collect the whole catalog all at one shot. It is a possibility. We can work it out. So I think that's all I have for shop updates. That's a lot of shop updates. There's kitties up and down the stairs. So we're actually getting, like, it's 47 minutes now. So I expected to be done with this. I didn't think I was going to have the energy to keep up with this. So let me do one last thing. So that shop updates, definitely check out. It's www.allthews.etsy.com/shop. /mislaidpages. Link should be in the description because I always put it down there. So last but not least, now I'll talk about some fiber stuff. So if you were only here for the cross stitch and the cross stitch goodies, you can head out now. No hard feelings. Love you. If you want to talk about yarn and knitting, then go ahead and stay here. I'm going to try to keep it short. Don't have a ton of stuff. Just want to show you a couple things. So I'm pretty sure I already showed you knit crates. And I haven't gotten the new knit crate yet. Give me just a second. I haven't gotten a new knit crate yet, so I don't have any new knit crate to show you. I will say that March's colors for the regular knit crate box were not to my liking, really. They were not nearly as bright and colorful as some of the other kits have been so far. So I actually switched to sock crate for March because especially the Energize Me color when they did the preview was really, really gorgeous. So I'm getting sock crate. So I'll only be getting one skein, and it will be of like super thin yarn. And one of the cats has found a bug. This is going to be fun. So it's going to be really lightweight yarn to knit socks with, but it'll only be one skein. So yeah, that is coming probably next Flosstube because I expect to be getting that box soonishly. But in the meantime, I haven't started with any of the yarns that I've gotten through Knit Crate yet because I'm kind of afraid because they're really nice yarns that I've not had yarns that nice before, so I don't want to experiment on them. What I decided to do was go back to some nitty projects that I had started ages ago, and I think I literally started this one 3 years ago, like in 2017. My husband had to have surgery, and I had just gotten back into knitting because I've gone in and out of knitting several times. I've had to reteach myself to knit every time I pick it up because my brain doesn't like to hold on to the knitting for some reason. I don't know why. Crochet is not a problem. I can pick up and put down crochet like nobody's business. But knitting is difficult for me. My brain doesn't want to grasp it for whatever reason. So I had started this, and it's literally just a straight scarf. But I started it ages ago with the idea that I was just going to use the entire skein, and this was a 7-ounce Karen cake skein of yarn. So let me just show you. I'm not going to be able to get it all in one shot. So here's the top. I still need to, oh yeah. Let me tell you about this. So I still need to weave in the ends, so that's what this is. So last night I got to here. I got to this row. And let me show you how much that is. So still scarf, still the scarf, still the scarf, still the scarf. It's like the world's longest scarf, so it's really long. So like, so anyway, so I had gotten to, actually I didn't quite get to that point. I'd gotten like 1 or 2 rows down from there. And little Miss Momo, who was sitting in my lap, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw this picture. Little Miss Momo, who was sitting on my lap, I looked down because she made some kind of weird noise. I looked down and realized that she has bitten through my yarn. Like legit, she just chopped it off like scissors. And I thought I had enough to do a couple of rows, but it turns out I only had enough left from where she bit it to do half a row. So then I had to figure out how to join the rest of the yarn, and I did something wrong. I don't know what I did. I did something terribly, terribly wrong. And I don't really know. I guess I can weave this end in and maybe fix it, but it's, yeah. So that's the Momo hole. But regardless, I'm impressed that I did this much knitting. This is a lot of knitting. I did not learn until very, very recently that apparently when you do, this is the stockinette stitch, if I remember correctly. And I'll explain why I do the stockinette stitch in just a second. But I only learned recently that apparently the stockinette stitch has this tendency to roll over. So you can see that all on its own, it wants to be, well, if I could hold it right, you would see. So it just wants to it wants to fold all up. Of course, I have to block this anyway, but apparently what you want to do if you're using the stockinette stitch is you actually want to do a couple of knit stitches on the side, like a garter stitch on the side to hold it. I didn't know that until I was well more than halfway through this scarf, so I just kept on with it. But yeah, so I sort of do the stockinette stitch by default because I'm like a dyslexic knitter. And also because I have a tendency to not want to flip the needle around and go back to my left hand to hold it and knit off of that. I really like to knit off of the left needle and then knit off of the right needle and then knit off of and it turns out that the way my dyslexic brain works is that I'm actually knitting on the one side and purling on the other side so that I get an automatic stockinette stitch, which is really great. As long as I don't want to do any specialty stitches in between. As long as all I want is to do this over and over again, I'm great. So I actually, so I've started, now that I finished this one, I've allowed myself to start another project. This is so long. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to keep this for myself or if I'm going to give this to my stepkid. I might, but it's purple. So I did it in purple especially because I love purple. But I have another cake of this colorway, so it's really soft. And it's so snuggly. It's so snuggly. Oh. Okay, anyway, so now that I finished this one, I actually started just today, and I'm hoping to do some more knitting this evening once I get done filming this. Okay. So I'm trying to actually use a knitting pattern for the first time in my whole life. I've only really ever just done whatever I felt like doing until now. So this is what I have. So this is a super simple scarf. The pattern comes right off of the Caron cake that I'm using. And I'm still using a Caron cake instead of my fancy yarn because that's how I do. Partly because I haven't found a pattern that I want to use for it yet. So this is my Caron cake. And I've really jumbled it all up right there. What colorway is this? This is gelato. I'm not sure why it's called gelato because that's not what I think of when I think of gelato, but gelato. Because it was one of the Caron cakes that I had that I have another skein in a different colorway that would work with this, and this pattern calls for 2 of the cakes. So I figured if I really want to go through with it, then I've got another skein or another cake that I can use. So this is super early, but you can see I'm just doing, this is the garter stitch, I think. So I'm just knitting in both directions. I'm knitting and then I flip it and I knit again. But I am adding in a stitch after the first 2 knits going this direction. So when I go this way, I add I yarn over to get that space there. So this is ultimately it's gonna be a triangular scarf. And so this will be one pointy end. And once I get to the middle, once I make it long enough and get to the middle, then I'll start decreasing. And so I'll have another pointy end on the other side. And thus the, this type of needle, which my brain is completely blanked on. Those of you who knit, you know what this is. It's the connected needles. It's got the wire that holds it together. And these I actually just bought. This is, okay, so this is by a company called Knit Picks. I got these off Amazon. So this is the Try It kit. It's a needle set. So it comes with these 2, which are metal. These are size 7. And it comes with, let me see if I can get these out without too much trouble. Okay. I really got these because of the wooden needles. So these are size 6 needles. And these are really pretty. Okay. Can you see them? Try to, there you go. Look how pretty they are. I mean, wooden needles. And like purple and blue and stuff. So, and as you can see, they are open-ended. I'm really not doing a great job of showing things or explaining things. So the cables have little screws on them. Camera's not focusing. I don't know. So the cables have little screws on them. You just screw them in. So they're interchangeable. So I've got a shorter cable, and I've got the smaller needles, and then I've got the longer cable on my metal needles there. And I will say this, this little package says it comes with an 18-inch cord and a 40-inch cord. Or actually, let me double check that. This is why you shouldn't try to put things back on camera. Okay. I'm not going to edit this, by the way. You're just going to have to deal with it. It comes with a 24-inch cable and a 40-inch cable. But what they mean by 24 and 40 inches is that once you attach the needles to the cable, so once you have this whole shebang together, this whole thing should be 40 inches. So the cable itself is not 40 inches. So just, you know, buyer beware if you're going to go on Amazon and get these. So yeah, I mean, this obviously will be plenty long for most things that I do, at least in the near term. But the cable itself is not 40 inches long. The cable itself, I want to say, is more like 26 inches. And then the needles themselves are like 4.5, 5 inches from tip to screw end. So, but I do like the feel of these. These are, I usually use boy needles, B-O-Y-E. That's usually what I use. But the aluminum is actually, the color is starting to come off the tips from me rubbing them together. These I find are smoother than boy, so I don't know if you'll like them or not, if that's your cup of tea. I know a lot of people don't like super smooth needles because there's no drag to help you kind of keep the fiber where you need it. And I know a lot of people use bamboo and stuff for that reason. I actually have on order right now some bamboo double-ended needles and a bamboo set of whatever this is called. But I have those on the way to me because I want to try out the bamboo compared to the metal. I've always used metal, and that's kind of my comfort zone. So I want to try some different stuff. But yeah, so this is my new knitting thing, and for whatever reason, like this, okay, I'm really getting this tangled. I don't know what I'm doing here. For some reason, like, knitting is what I'm into right now. Not that I'm dropping cross stitch in any way, shape, or form, but just this week, I guess, I think it's a lot because of the sinus headaches and stuff. My head hurting and my eyesight being wonky because I have the swelling and stuff in my sinuses. I think that this is just an easier project for me right now. I think that's why I'm so into it. I will say that after a little while, knitting gets really boring to me, whereas cross stitch doesn't. And I think it's because knitting, unless you're doing a really complicated pattern, it's just kind of like really repetitive. You're doing the same thing over and over, which is why it can be really relaxing, because it's just, you know, you kind of get into a rhythm and it feels, I like the feeling of it, you know, that kind of thing. But because I'm using one color, even though the color changes and stuff, it feels, it gets a little old after a while. But this is something that I can pick up and put down kind of whenever I want to, so that's nice. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing as far as nitty stuff goes. So I think I have talked your ear off enough. I am surprised that this is not making me super hot because it is like 70 degrees in Virginia today. I don't even know. I don't understand this winter. I feel so cheated by this winter. We've had no snow, none whatsoever. We had two sort of threatening weather events where really it just kind of, it just did flurries, and like the most we had was just half an inch or a quarter of an inch on the grassy areas. And so it's been a really disappointing winter for those of us who like snow. And it's probably going to be a crappy summer because we haven't had a good hard freeze. But anyway, so 70 degrees today. No reason why. Global warming probably. Yeah. So that's all I have for you. Like I said, I have plans to go out of town this weekend, assuming stuff doesn't get canceled. With COVID-19 running about and running amok, and now there have been cases reported not only in Virginia but in Maryland, where we're planning on going. I'll just have to wait and see. Also had big plans for travel in April and in June that are kind of up in the air now. So we'll have to see. Part of me I'd be super disappointed if I couldn't take the trip in April, but at the same time, if I was forced to stay home and took some time off anyway, then I could get some things done around here that I really need to get done. I've spent a lot of my free time trying to develop shop stuff, to get some accounts set up and to get everything all officialized, and that kind of thing. So that's where a lot of my energy has gone. And now I'm to the point where I really need a dedicated space for the shop. So I really need to get my craft room set up. I need to get it cleaned out. I need to get it shaped up, and I need to get things organized. Really, really need to do that. And I'm just feeling so pulled in so many different directions. It's hard to get that kind of stuff done when I'm also working a regular job, 40 hours a week, trying to get in time for my own stuff and for social stuff with the hubby and other people, and, preaching to the choir, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just, there's only so many hours in the day. So, wouldn't hurt my feelings to have a couple of weeks where I was forced to stay home and could dedicate some time to doing some of those things. So, but not trying to be an alarmist or anything. I'm just trying to be a concerned, conscientious person when it comes to all the COVID-19 stuff. So if I don't have to put myself in questionable situations, I won't. But we'll see how things go. So anyway, that was a weird note to end it on. Anyway, I think I will be done. Pardon the trash in the background that I just noticed is there. So you didn't see that. Nobody saw that. Look at the pretty paints. I hope you all have had a great Monday. I hope you have a great rest of the week. I'm not sure when this is going to get posted. Maybe tomorrow, Tuesday. So if it's already Tuesday, I hope you're having a great Tuesday. And I will see you next time. Have a great one.